Hey leaders, my name is Jay Dunson and welcome to the first video in a series of videos in which I want to share with you how you can overcome distractions and become more productive in your workplace. So without question, life has been moving at a faster pace increasingly for years now, and it can be hard to keep up. Just see if you can relate with me to this scenario, okay? It goes like this. I wake up Monday and I start my week off with a full slate of activities that I know I need to be completed before the end of the week. So early on, I make sure to map out my week, trying to, create a balance between the tasks that need to be completed with those that can wait a little bit longer. Maybe you're a to-do list person. Personally, I just try to keep things in my head and use my calendar as deadlines for certain activities. And I try to give each activity an appropriate amount of time and space to be completed without feeling stressed out or hurried at the end of the week to get it all done. But as I settle into my workspace, prepared to begin hammering out each task that needs to be completed, something seems to always catch my attention. Maybe it's an interesting news headline that I want to hear more about, so I click into that. Then from there, I end up clicking into, some social media app because, you've got to keep up with what everyone else is doing and what's going on in the world. By then, I've allowed some other notification to grab my attention. Finally, I decide that I've already allowed too much time to pass without even thinking, without anything productive happening. And so now I begin to really settle in and focus. And within the first 10 minutes of me sitting down to work, someone comes into my office or requests my presence at a meeting to discuss a topic that was not on my mind and completely unexpected. So already my morning is totally lost with nothing to show for it. Maybe you can relate. And as I go about the rest of my week, these types of situations, they continue to steal away my attention and they distract me from what really matters. Now, of course, we're all responsible people, so I've managed to carve out a few minutes here and there to get some things done. However, as the end of the week approaches, the realization that everything that I set out to do in the amount of time that I had given myself to do them is not gonna get done unless I pick up the pace, right? So now I feel this incredible rush to get everything done as quickly as possible. I'm now stressed out, I'm irritable, I'm short with those that are around me, and I'm working on a tight schedule because I've just gotta get it done. And honestly, there simply has to be a better way. But the question is, what does that look like? So how can we as leaders eliminate, or at the very least, minimize distractions, hurry, and stress to become highly productive leaders in the workplace? That's what this series is really all about. And I want to start out this series by talking about what's really at stake when it comes to our lost time and when it comes to being distracted. So according to the University of California Irvine study, it takes an average of 23 minutes and 15 seconds to refocus after a distraction. That's a long time just trying to refocus. On top of that, managers are interrupted on average every 8 minutes and spend 28% of their time dealing with avoidable interruptions and trying to get back on track. What this leads to is an enormous amount of unproductive time. Hypothetically, if you as a leader were to only get distracted 3 times a day, the math would say that that is an hour of lost time. Now, maybe you're thinking to yourself, well, I don't get distracted that much. I'm really not that easily distracted. And I hope that's true for you. But statistically speaking, most of us spend a large amount of time at work being distracted. Statistically speaking, 89% of workers admit to being distracted by non-work related websites. Generally speaking, us, younger workers, we tend to get distracted the most. Guys, we're even worse than our female counterparts, but almost all of us fall victim to distractions in one way or another, with some estimates being as high as 2 hours of unproductive time throughout the course of a workday. And the thing that gets lost in all of this is our time. And as a leader, I truly believe that in today's world, that time is our most expensive commodity. If we just had more time, right? But how much time are we wasting away due to distractions? And how much more could we achieve if we were able to regain that time? That's what I hope that you are able to come away with by the end of this series. But for now, I want you to think about this. How much time do you think you're wasting throughout your day? If you were to really evaluate what your typical day looks like, how often would you say that you get pulled away from what you should be doing? Because just having an awareness of how we are using our time can go a long way in closing the gap between wasted time and productive time. And imagine the possibilities if we could learn to eliminate the distractions that we're faced with each day and regain our lost time. Leaders, just know that I'm cheering for you and that I'm in this battle with you, but together we can get better.